We are back in 1987, continuing our look at the Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future toy line by Mattel. Last time, we had a brief introduction to the live-action TV show and took a look at the main hero, Captain Power. This time, we're headed to the Biodread Empire to check out their villainous leader, the evil Lord Dread, here on KREED'S Collection. Hey, welcome back to another episode of KREED'S Collection. Today we're checking out the evil Lord Dread from the 1987 Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future toy line by Mattel. Lord Dread was once Dr. Lyman Taggart, close associate to Captain Power's father, Dr. Stuart Power. Together, they built the computer Overmind with the objective of world peace. But in an attempt to complete Overmind, Dr. Taggart linked himself to the system. This caused Taggart to become obsessed with the merging of man and machine, and eventually becoming the cyborg Lord Dread. His sole purpose, to subjugate the human race and link them into the system. Those who do not submit are digitized. And now that we know a bit more about Lord Dread, let's take a closer look. Alright, let's go ahead and get it out of the way. Lord Dread is not the most original villain in the world, but he does make a really cool looking action figure. They did a great job mixing up different finishes to give him a more detailed look. So right here on his chest, for example, he's matte black, but then he's got the polished black on his arm. His other arm is the matte silver, and his chest is the vac metal chrome, so it really stands out. His head sculpt is also pretty nice too, and my only complaint is that his eye isn't red like it is on the show. But beyond that, it's still a really nice representation of the character, maybe even cooler than he is on the show. But there is some weirdness, like his faction decal being right here on the front of his crotch. It's pretty awkward looking. Can you imagine Superman having his S there? I don't think so. You'll notice that both of Lord Dread's hands are molded to hold his included weapon, and we'll check that out here in a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell, but Lord Dread's boots are actually pretty nicely detailed. There's some cool stuff going on here in the shoe area, and I also like these red knee pads. Overall, pretty sweet. On Lord Dread's back, we have this beautiful cloth cape. It hooks on via the collar. It is removable, but I've never taken it off. And if you'll notice, it has a nice flow to it. It's a little bit translucent, and I like how it folds over on each side like that. Kind of gives it some volume. It looks pretty good. Cloth capes at this scale can be hard to pull off, but this one gets it right. As we come around to the back of Lord Dread, I decided to flip his cape up so you can see all the nice detail work that's hidden underneath it. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and take a look at Lord Dread's articulation. Here at the knee, he does have a 90-degree bend, and here at the hip, there's a ball joint, so it can go up, and it can also flex out a little bit. Now here at the arm, there's also a 90-degree bend, and here at the shoulder, it can flex out, and it can also rotate up around full 360 like a G.I. Joe. Now Lord Dread's head can turn left and right. And that's it. That covers all 9 points of articulation for Lord Dread. Now we're going to take a look at Lord Dread's included accessory. It's known as the Zap Blade, which is a terrible name, but I'm pretty sure there's a gun right here. So basically when Lord Dread is holding it, he can shoot you as well as slice you with the blade. I mean, it's no lightsaber, but I guess it's okay. It's in mostly excellent shape other than the handle being slightly bent right here, but it doesn't affect it in any way. It still fits in his hand just fine. And I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. So here it is in his cyborg hand. As you can see, it looks pretty good. But as I mentioned earlier, both his hands are molded to hold it, so it's totally up to you. I generally put it in his cyborg arm, and it just occurred to me that he's a cyborg lord with a sword. Sounds familiar. I am the greatest cyborg lord ever. And no one even comes close to me at wielding a sword. Ha ha! Good evening, Lord Dread. I feel we have much to discuss. Like what? How you're a whiny orphan brat with mommy issues? What did you just say? What are you doing? I can't hear you. I can't breathe. I'm gonna pass out. Please. I'm sorry. Could you speak up, please? It sounds as if you're choking. Please. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
How do you feel now, Lord Dread?
Please forgive me, Lord Vader. You are obviously the Dark Lord who rules us all. I kneel before your greatness.
That's what I thought. Who's your daddy, Dread? Dude, you don't mess with Vader. I couldn't find a copyright date anywhere on Lord Dread's body, but on the small of his back you can see his country of origin, Malaysia. Here's a quick look at Lord Dread's file card. If you'd like to read it, pause now. And since I didn't realize these guys had file cards when I did my Captain Power episode, here's Captain Power's as well. Hopefully you can read them okay. And now for our He-Man size comparison. Even though Lord Dread is quite a bit smaller than He-Man, his computer-powered intellect would probably give him trouble. Good thing He-Man's got his good friend Roboto to help him out. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy retrospective for Lord Dread from the 1987 Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future toy line by Mattel. Even as a kid, it was pretty obvious that Lord Dread wished he was Lord Vader and that Captain Power owed a lot to Star Wars and Terminator. But somehow they took a lot of concepts we were very familiar with and still came up with something pretty fun and unique. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. About 90% of my views come from unsubscribed viewers, so hey, what have you got to lose? Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Do it now. Do it. I do a retrospective on a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday, so hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.